Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
So Bryan, we are all human. We all make mistakes. Nobody is here to judge. This is a judgment-free zone. However, when it comes to our money, our hard-earned savings, of course, the last thing that any of us want to do is to make some sort of avoidable mistake just because of a lack of awareness. So I want to talk about the theory of financial coach Stephen Chen. Mr. Chen was telling GoBankingRates.com that the number one mistake that he sees people make is that they don't have a spending plan. And it sounds to me like Mr. Chen has been listening to Wealth or Wisdom here on PTI because that's what you say almost every single week here on the radio, Bryan.
He sounds like he has a lot of wisdom.
That's it. But Mr. Chen goes further. He says it's not just about the spending plan, but also where the money comes from each month. That needs to be part of the plan. So this is an interesting perspective because it adds another layer, particularly when we think about our retirement. We're no longer just thinking about replacing that paycheck we get from our employer or the businesses that we run. Now we need to use our assets to not only generate an income strategy, but we need to think about where we're getting that money from, a withdrawal strategy on top of our budget. What do you think about this advice?
I feel like I'm talking to my brother from another mother when it comes to Stephen Chen. It's so true. I mean, you get to the basis of everything if you want to solve a problem, right? You got to get to the basis of the problem and work your way out. And 9 times out of 10, the basis of the problem, there's no budget. There's no spending plan. It reminds me of a couple, Heather, that I dealt with, and they were spending about $9,000 a month. And they were looking at it, and I said, well, let's go over what you're spending. And no spending plan, no budget. I'll call it a spending plan if it mentally makes you feel better, right? So I said, well, do me a favor, bring in your checking statements on our next review. Bring in all of, because you got a lot of automatic drafts. Bring in your statements from your credit cards. Let's just look at the big picture on you. And we went through, and after everything was done, we were able to eliminate $2,000 of expenses that they now put into a savings account. So they redirected it to a general savings account, right? Money market, because we were getting a reasonable fee on the money market, about like 4% interest rate, rather, not fee. Then it's now down around about 2.5%, like most money markets. But the point is that money now, okay, I'm going to pay this semester for my granddaughter. I'm going to pay her expenses. I'm going to reimburse her expenses if she gets straight A's. So they're starting to use that money with a different psyche that gets them more excited. Let's use this excess money to do X, Y, and Z. And the granddaughter, if she gets straight A's, she gets X dollars that reimburses all her expenses for college. She gets, a couple of B's and A's, then it's half that or whatever it may be. And it's been fun for them. This is 6 years ago we did this. And they said, that is the best thing. We have more fun spending that money on smart things other than all these little memberships we never used, all these subscriptions we never used. We just became more intelligent about our money. So if you want to be intelligent about your money, put together a spending plan. Folks, 336-586-5861. This isn't just about growing your money. This isn't just about spending your money. This is about making your money work for you in a way that makes you happy. That's my number one goal when you come in to see me, is to sit down and go, let's look at all your options. Let's look at all your strategies. What really gets you excited in life? It's really the why behind your retirement. 336-586-5861. This is a session you'll walk away with 2 or 3 things that you go, I can use that right now. I never thought of that. Never thought about my dividends investing back into my IRA is like me contributing to it. I've never thought about all of these kind of variables. It's all about the collective strategy that works for you, but also keep it flexible because things change. Big things happen in life. You need to be able to move on a dime when big things do happen, or know that you have the confidence you'll figure it out. 336-586-5861. I'm here in Greensboro, right near Guilford College off of Friendly and Dolly Madison. Love to sit down with you. I'll give you an hour and a half of my time. I want to make sure it's a productive hour and a half of your time. Give us a call, folks. 336-586-5861. Let's help you put together a spending plan. Let's help you to put together a retirement plan.
We've opened up 5 spots on the calendar just for radio listeners today. So call us right now to reserve one of these spots for your no-fee, no-obligation review of your savings and investments. 336-586-5861 right now for the first 5 callers. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement and have saved at least $500,000, that's where you're really going to see the power of this kind of planning take effect. And at Gaiser Financial, Bryan and his team ready to show you what they can do for you. 336-586-5861. It's 336-586-5861. You can also find us at gaiserfinancial.com. Bryan, I'm just loving this story that you were sharing about that couple and how they were able to reward their granddaughter and how much fun they were having doing that. I think it brings up the bigger conversation of how important it is, particularly in retirement, to give our money purpose.
Exactly. What a beautiful way to put it. It is just give your money purpose. Make sure you're not wasting it. I mean, I'd rather give my money to my church than I would just blowing it on this, that, and the other. But I also enjoy myself, go on vacation. Of course. Just got back from New York a couple of months ago. What a great event. Found my great-great-grandparents, where they got off the boat in Ellis Island and, just things of that nature. There's so many other opportunities when you really have your spending plan, when you're a bit more organized when it comes to your retirement about your spending. You tend to do a lot more things that are exciting because you have the funds instead of putting it off. Well, let me save up a little bit more, but you have no plan to save up a little more. You hear people say that. Once my savings gets here, I'll do it. I'm going, well, what are you doing to save? Well, nothing different. It's like, it's not just going to happen. You got to be smart about it. And so it's the same thing when it comes to spending plan, when it comes to just using your head. It's just, if you want a solid retirement plan and a solid retirement, it's all about how you spend your money and how you think through how you spend. Make every dollar count. There's a 4% rule, people talk about on a regular basis. How would your money react relative to how it's invested if you did use the 4% rule, if that was necessary? I try to take that out of the equation for most of my folks, just depending on their circumstance. But I try to take it out and say, look, here's a known dollar amount you're getting every month. And you have $2,000 to $3,000 additional dollars every month at your discretion. Now let's use that money wisely. We're taking care of all your necessary, but let's be smart about how you spend that discretionary money. That doesn't mean you don't have fun with it. You do have fun with it. I couldn't find a greater joy than if hey, you had straight A's in school. What a great idea, wasn't it? I give them credit. Here you had straight A's. Here's your expenses back from college this last semester. How big is that to a college student? And how much more motivated are they to keep it together? I want joy when I spend my money, not just some kind of weird need, almost like people that smoke cigarettes. Oh, this is more of an addiction. Yeah, I'm going to quit. You quit after every cigarette. Why'd you start back?
That's right.
Folks, 336-586-5861. I'm a big fan of the basics. If you get the basics right, all the big stuff happens automatically. No cost, no obligation. 336-586-5861. Give us a call. Be happy to sit down with you and share a lot of information that a lot of folks won't share with you.
How long does that initial review process take for most people, Bryan?
Sometimes an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. Just depends on the complexities. Sometimes people come in with a bag of stuff and I'm going, oh, Lord. So we got to kind of sort it all out, right? We got to sort it all out and go from there. And that's okay. Sometimes that happens. I just want you to get in and break the ice and be, as you always say, proactive, right?
Yes.
Be proactive is so critical, folks. And it really is. That's the number one thing that'll get you through retirement successfully. But when you're proactive, make sure you're working from a plan, a spending plan as well as an accumulation plan, because your assets still have to accumulate. Knowing when's the best time to take Social Security, knowing when's the best time to take your pension. Should I create my own pension? Should I do something and draw the interest? Should I draw the dividends? Where's the best place to take my money? Oh, darn, I can't contribute to my IRA. Yeah, you can. Use your dividends. They'll contribute to your IRA. It all depends on how you structure yourself. It's about just simple things done repeatedly. Being proactive on the simple. Once I lay things out for you, can't tell how many times I hear people say, I've never heard that. I've had an advisor 20 years. We never talk about taxes. Taxes are important to talk about. And how to pay as little as possible, legally, of course, is very, very critical. So, folks, no cost, no obligation, 336-586-5861. It'll be an hour and a half. You will walk away with 2 or 3 things at the bare minimum where you go, I am glad I came here today.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit geiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.